The Italian Plague 1629 to 1631. The silent sweep. No warnings were shouted, no one ran through the streets screaming, because by the time they realized what was happening, it was already too late. In 1629, something entered northern Italy, not with chaos, but with silence. And that silence would kill over 1 million people. This is the story of the Italian Plague, a deadly outbreak that didn't just destroy cities, it erased them. From Milan to Venice, from crowded marketplaces to quiet villages, people vanished. Not over the years, not over decades, but in weeks. And what makes this plague even more terrifying is not just how many died, but how quietly it happened. It began, like many disasters do, with movement. Armies marching through northern Italy during war, supplies shifting between cities, trade routes pulsing with life. And hidden among them, something unseen, carried in carts, on clothing, in the breath of the living. At first, no one noticed. A fever here, a sudden death there, nothing unusual for the time. But then the pattern changed. People weren't just getting sick, they were collapsing. Quickly, unexpectedly, and once it started in a household, it didn't stop. What made this plague so terrifying was how it moved. There were no clear signs at first. No immediate panic, just a quiet shift. A street that once bustled, now empty. A home that once glowed with candlelight, now dark. Neighbors stopped seeing each other. Doors stayed closed, and inside those homes, entire families were disappearing. No cries for help, no warning signs, just silence. But then, something happened that no one could explain. In Milan, one section of the city did something different. When the first signs of plague appeared, officials acted fast. Extremely fast. They sealed off entire buildings, boarded doors, locked people inside, both the sick and the healthy. No one in, no one out. At first, it seemed cruel, inhuman, but then something strange happened. While the rest of the city suffered devastating losses, this sealed district remained mostly untouched. Deaths were minimal, the spread slowed, almost stopped. So the question remains, what really saved them? Was it early quarantine, strict control, or something else entirely? Because not every locked building survived. Some became tombs. Everyone inside, gone. Others, endured. Same conditions, same exposure, different outcomes. And no one could explain why. Even today, historians and scientists debate it. Luck? Immunity? Or something we still don't understand? Outside Milan, the story was far darker. Venice, Mantua, Verona, cities filled with art, culture, life, reduced to silence. Bodies piled in streets, mass graves dug day and night, entire villages abandoned. In some places, survivors fled, only to carry the plague with them, spreading it further, faster, until it felt like there was nowhere left to run. But as the death toll rose, something even more disturbing began to happen. People stopped trusting each other. Neighbors avoided eye contact. Families abandoned the sick. Doors were shut not just to keep disease out, but to keep people away. Because the greatest fear wasn't just dying, it was being left alone to die. Unseen, unheard, forgotten. And then, just as quietly as it began, it ended. No final battle, no cure discovered, just a slow fading. Deaths decreased. Cities began to breathe again. But what was left behind was no relief. It was emptiness. Entire generations gone. Stories unfinished. Lives erased. The Italian plague of 1629 to 1631 remains one of history's deadliest and most mysterious outbreaks. Because while we understand parts of how it spread, we still don't fully understand why some survived and others didn't, why one street lived while another disappeared, and why it moved so quietly through a world that never saw it coming. Because sometimes, the most dangerous things, they aren't the loudest, they're the ones that arrive in silence and leave nothing behind. If you want more untold historical mysteries, stories that still leave questions behind, subscribe now, because the past is darker than it seems.